Hi friends, welcome back to Someday is Here. Today I want to talk about a kind of grief that shows up quietly, the kind that doesn't get casseroles or sympathy cards, the grief no one prepares you for when you decide to start over in your life, your location, your marriage, your career, or even inside yourself. People understand grief when it's tied to loss, but not the grief that comes with growth, not the grief that comes with becoming someone new. And if you're listening today and you're in a season of rebuilding, or even just thinking about starting over, I want to walk with you through the parts no one names out loud. Because you're not wrong for feeling what you feel. You're human and you're carrying a lot. When you start over, there's this strange moment when you realize you're not just leaving a place or a job or a routine. You're leaving you, the you who knew how life worked, the you who didn't have to ask for directions, the you who could predict her days without thinking, the you who felt confident, or at least comfortable in who she was. And even if the old you was exhausted or stuck or craving change, she was familiar. There's grief in outgrowing a version of yourself, even if that version was barely hanging on. If you're listening, I want you to pause for a second and picture her. The old you. What she carried, what she endured, what she didn't know yet. And then let yourself whisper, "Thank you," because she got you here. That tiny moment of gratitude, that's healing. That's integration. That's honoring your story. Starting over means suddenly nothing is familiar anymore, and your body feels it before your mind does. It's walking into a grocery store where the layout makes no sense. It's driving through streets where nothing feels intuitive. It's waking up and realizing your support systems aren't outside your door anymore. Even the small things, the coffee shop where they knew your order, the neighbors you waved to, the routines that made you feel like yourself, disappear all at once. And that disorientation, that heaviness in your chest, that's grief. I remember early on, after our move, I stood in a Target aisle and almost cried because I couldn't find the one brand of cleaner I always used. And it wasn't about the cleaner, it was the realization nothing in my life is automatic anymore. You don't just build a new life, you rebuild every little thing that used to feel easy. And that's okay that it feels bigger than it should. It is big. People love the idea of growth. They love the inspirational quotes. They love the best version of you messaging. But they don't tell you the truth. Growth costs something. When you grow, you shed old patterns. You loosen your grip on roles that no longer fit. You outgrow people who can't meet you where you're going. You stop doing the things that kept you small or quiet or overly accommodating. And every one of those shifts, even the healthy ones, comes with loss. You grieve the coping skills you no longer use. You grieve the relationships that fade because you're not who you used to be. You grieve the version of you that tolerated things out of survival. There is grief in healing. There is grief in choosing yourself. There is grief in finally saying, "I matter too." It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're growing. The in-between is that space where you're not who you used to be, but you're not yet fully who you're becoming. It's the wobbliness, the uncertainty, the days where excitement and sadness blend into the same emotion. You can be proud of your choice to start over and still feel lonely. You can be grateful and still feel unsteady. You can know you're moving in the right direction and still crave something familiar. Humans aren't wired for constant change. Even good change overwhelms the nervous system. If you've ever sat in your new life and wondered, why do I feel sad when I chose this? It's because your mind is catching up with your spirit. It's normal. It's a part of the process, and it doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. It just means you're in the middle, and middles are hard. Take a breath. You are allowed to feel all of that. You can love your new life and still miss your old one. You can feel grateful and still wish something familiar hadn't changed. You can feel proud of yourself and still have moments where you feel lost. Feeling both doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you human. Grief doesn't disappear because something good happened. It just becomes one of the threads woven into your story. You don't have to choose one. You get to hold both. Joy in one hand, grief in the other, and courage in your heart. If you are starting over in any way, a new city, a new relationship, a new career, a new season of growth, I want you to hear this. You're not weak for grieving. You are not dramatic for missing what you left. You're not broken for feeling overwhelmed. You're in a tender, sacred transition. And transitions feel like grief because they are a kind of grieving. A grieving of who you were, how life used to be, and the comforts that once held you. And in the same time, you're also becoming someone braver, wiser, softer, stronger. And it's okay if it's messy. It's okay if you don't have it all figured out. It's okay if some days you feel everything at once. You are not behind. You are not failing. You're in the middle of your becoming. And in the middle is where transformation happens. Thank you for being here today. And if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need to hear that starting over can feel like grief and that they're not alone. I will see you in the next episode.